Hey, what's up, guys? All right, well, it's Saturday, and I got home from work, and I have to go back to work in a little while, but I thought I'd take this time to announce the winner of the contest. And the contest winner is going to have the Browse Blade Silent Soldier, brand new, amazing new generation, shipped off to you ASAP. But anyway, I wanted to make this video now because I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to make it later, so hopefully I can post it, early in the day. So, I'm actually really surprised at how many people guessed it right. I really thought this would be a lot harder. But there were 1,341 guesses by the time I got home today and looked at, the comments and stuff. Well, 1,341 comments, probably a handful of those were just comments. They weren't guesses. But anyway, an honorable mention goes to For Today 03 for his guess, which I'm not going to say. But I thought that was pretty funny when I read it, and I immediately thought that Tex Grebner wrote that. But it turns out it doesn't. It was someone else. But anyway, no, you were wrong, sir. Not even close. So, yeah, a lot of the guesses, the most guessed was a Spyderco Dodo. So you guys are paying attention to the channel. You know I love this knife. I mean, it's one of my favorite knives ever. I know, it's an ugly duckling. Most people think it's ridiculous looking and stupid, but I love this knife. It's extremely ergonomic. It's a very effective, nasty cutter. Pretty sweet. But all of you guys really paying attention would know that I already own this knife. So this is not the knife that I got, and it's not the answer for the contest. But a lot of you guys, you saw the videos where I mentioned how much I love the knife, but I guess you didn't see the video when I was showing it off and reviewing it. And then, long story with this knife. I had a Dodo, and I loved it, and I sold it because I had to pay some bills, and I missed it, and I thought it was one of the coolest knives ever made. And a lot of people think that's ridiculous because it's stupid, but that's okay. And they all have our likes, and they all differ. But no, I have to say, though, a lot of awesome guesses, and pretty much every guess was a really good knife. And a lot of knives mentioned that I do want. I tried to throw you guys off with the price. All right, I told you I bought it for $140 for $10 shipping. That is true. That's what I paid for this knife. Luckily, I came into some money that was unexpected, so I was able to blow it on a knife. And I found this one on eBay. And a lot of you guys who are smart enough to remember that, I did those auctions for charity over the last 3 or 4 years. I did a couple of them on eBay. And some went good, some didn't. Some people abused it. But if you remember that, you remember my eBay name, and some of you probably just went over there, because I got a message from someone said, I'm not entering, but I'd just like to let you know, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm an idiot. I forgot about that. But anyway, if you happen to think, maybe he bought it on eBay, you would have looked at my eBay purchasing history, and you would have found the knife that I bought. So I don't know if the people who guessed it did that, or if you randomly guessed it, but either way, kudos to you for guessing it. So no, it's not the Spyderco Dodo. Little shout out to, let's see, actually there's a bunch of people. I'm not going to bother. I liked a lot of the guesses, and I don't want to just randomly pick some people and not mention others, but a lot of awesome guesses for really cool knives. But anyway, the knife that I got, it's not the Spyderco Dodo. It is a Spyderco, however, and the majority of guesses were Spyderco knives. I liked when people didn't guess a Spyderco, not because it was wrong, but because it was thinking outside the box. There's just Spyderco is an amazing company, but there's a lot of amazing companies out there, and every knife company has something great to offer. And unfortunately, Spyderco gets the most publicity on YouTube. It's like, Spyderco this, Spyderco that. I love them. I love pretty much every model, but it's always nice when you hear about different knives. You can have too much of a good thing. And I love hearing about some other knives out there that are not Spydercos. However, this particular knife is a Spyderco, and it's one that I've wanted forever. All right, so with no further ado, here it is. Yes, it's a Spyderco. It's actually a pretty ugly Spyderco. Actually, it's not. Well, some of you probably think it's horrendous looking, but I love it. And not just because of the way it looks, or that extremely, ridiculously acute tip, which is sharpened on the back. Okay, it's like a needle. It's totally ridiculous. I've never had such an acute tip on a knife. But this is the Spyderco Worker. A lot of people guessed this. Like I said, I don't know if it was just you happen to find my eBay thing or what, or if you just randomly guessed it, because it is a fantastic knife. If you've been around knives for a long time, you know, if you've been into knives for at least 5, 10 years, something like that, or more, at some point you must have heard about this knife. If not, seen it, wanted it, owned it, lusted after it. This is a knife that's always been in my want list. And there's one major, well, there's a bunch of reasons, but the biggest reason of all is how influential this knife was in the industry. This was huge, and I have been EDCing this. I've been very careful because this tip is, I don't want to snap that off. The thing is, it really is like a needle. It's ridiculous. It just went into my hand here. Anyway, yeah, it's crazy, but I'm like kind of, come on, focus. I'm kind of freaked out that it's going to snap off or something, so I'm trying not to use it that hard. But anyway, this knife more than likely had something to do with the features on your knife. You go, how was that? Well, first of all, if you don't know, this was Spyderco's very first knife they've ever introduced. This is the first Spyderco ever made, which within itself is pretty cool. But this is also the first knife ever to have a hole in the blade for opening. Okay, obviously Spyderco's biggest thing, having the hole opening. There was no other knives in the world that had that before this knife came out. By the way, this came out in 1981. All right, before I was born. This is also, and this is a pretty big deal, this is the first knife ever to have a pocket clip. Did you know that? Very cool. Technically, this is the first tactical knife ever made. One hand opening with a pocket clip. This is what started it all. The knife that you have in your pocket right now more than likely has a pocket clip. Why? Because this knife came out. Because so many other companies, every single knife company in the world that makes folding knives at some point or another has used a pocket clip of some kind. Even Case, you know, even a company that deals mainly with slip joints, they do have their Hunter models and so forth that have pocket clip. It all came from this knife. This is the most influential knife in history, in my opinion, as far as folding knives go. And folding knives, locking folding knives are relatively new as far as knives go in history. But it's amazing. It's a first for so many different things, and it's really set a standard for all of today's knives. And I think it is very cool. It's very rich in history, and I love it. Now, the very first, even though this is the very first knife that came out, this is the a later version of it. The original version had a pocket clip with 2 screws and it had a square design on it, very kind of crude looking. Now, I believe this was one of the original ones. I have a note that came with this. I'm the second owner, and the original owner has their paperwork because they sent it back to Spyderco to be sharpened, and it was sharpened. You can see a lot of wear down here in the belly on both sides. Almost looks like a hamon or something, but it's all just wear and possibly some sharpening from previous owner. But Spyderco did sharpen this. And you can see this is before they put gold in Colorado, earth, and all that stuff. It's just very simple block letters. Seiki City, Japan, or just Seiki, Japan. They don't have the void detent on here. Locks up perfectly. I mean, there's nothing, no blade play. All right, this knife was used a lot. So the owner told me. Obviously, stainless steel construction here, lanyard hole. Just really, really cool. Overall, I mean, at first glance, it's whatever. It can look like a flea market knife. You wouldn't think much of it, right? You guys are into the paramilitaries and, you know, I mean, all these different Spydercos, the Mannix, you know, the Sage models, they're all cool and they're all like the thing, right? But a lot of people forget where it all came from. And this is where it all came from. And that's why this knife means so much to me. This is up there with Sebenza. For many years, I just always wanted one. Either couldn't afford it or I just couldn't find it. And now you do see these pop up on eBay occasionally. This is what I was talking about when I was trying to throw you off with the price. This did not sell. I mean, I bought this for way more than it originally cost. And I don't know exactly what it cost, but I know it wasn't 140 bucks when they first came out. But I want to throw you with that because even though I bought it for $140, generally speaking, they get between like $270 and $400 on eBay, depending on what day and who's watching. These can sell upwards of like, you know, 370 bucks, 400 bucks. I don't usually see them go more than 400, but you know, I happened to catch the guy. He had it was on there for $110, and I buy it now for 140, and I jumped on. I literally had $150 to my name to buy a knife, and it was $140 with $10 shipping. It was meant to be. It was calling me out, and I said, "Yep, I'm not going to play around. I'm not going to wait for the auction." You know, because someone else who saw it, if they knew a little bit about it, they would have just picked it up right away. If nothing else at all, to resell it. This is a knife that I'm hoping to always have in my collection. This is an awesome, awesome display piece. I want to get like a shadow box and just put this in there and have it just in a display by itself. Anyone who knows anything about knives can pick it out and go, "Wow, that's cool. You got a worker." And then other people, they would just go, "Why is that so special?" And then it's cool to tell the story. Well, hey, does your knife have a pocket clip? Yeah, sure. Why? Because of this one. It's just very cool. I really like it. So that's what I had purchased, and it's one of my favorite purchase knives. Of course, the Dodo was up there in my list, and the Sebenza. But just so rich in history. I love it. It's really cool. Now, I want to read off all of the people who guessed the worker, because I think that's appropriate. Literally could have picked any knife in the world, and you guessed the right one. So that was pretty darn lucky and or smart of you to look it up on eBay. But yeah, and then when I'm all done, I'll tell the winner. I know it's kind of like, "Oh, come on, who's the winner?" Blah, blah, blah. Well, now that you know what it is, let me read all the people who guessed it. And I apologize in advance if I butcher your name. A lot of the YouTube names are just out there. I don't know what people are thinking when they come up with their name, but sometimes it's a little too complicated. But anyway. All right, so the first person, 608 Climbing, Ivan Minikov, Jelly0123, Niga Higa, 001010, formerly Itachi Fanatic DA, DG Cover 32, XXTHT1 Guy XX, Assassin X1V, or I guess 14, and it's spelled, it looks like ass for sin, because it's ASS, the number 4, SSIN. That's what I thought it was at first, and I'm like, oh duh, use the 4 for assassin, like an A. You can get, that's okay, because that's creative, but some things are just like random. Here's a person I like. The screen name is Woot Woot Woot, WOOWOOWOO. Apparently he came up with that screen name knowing that he would have rightly guessed this answer for the contest. So very nice future planning for you. Woo woo woo. Let's see. Ina Grima. James Used. Not like the Ernie, or excuse me, not like with Ernie. 420 Nug 420. Wonder if that guy smokes pot. Airball 202. Gabe Hunt, which I read too fast and I thought it said Gay Bunt. like a, I don't know, a really bad bunt in baseball. Let's see. Alaskan Undead. That's a cool name. Jonah Coaster or Keister. It's Koester. Brandon Beard. See, Brandon Beard. That's so simple. It might be his real name. It might not be. I like it. It's easy to remember. YouTube names should be easy. Okay, here's one. I don't know if it's Joseph Loves You or Jose F Loves You. Either way, he loves you. Wesley Robbins, another one. Easy to remember. Thank you very much. Buck Metal 96. Very easy to remember. All right, so if you guys are looking to create new channels and stuff, make an easy name. It makes life easier. Okay, Kratos Norway or Tratos Norway, Sask Tactical, Ben M9771. Actually, I wrote this, I scribbled this one out, so I might not even be close. I apologize if it's not, but it's Ben something 9771. And I put a question mark that one because I think I'm not sure why I put a question. I think your answer was questionable. Pretty much anyone who wrote Spyderco Worker or Spyderco C10, or C01, any variant on the Worker, because there was a couple different versions of it, that was all accepted. If it was close, it was accepted. BDOS Balisong Tutorial, Gaston White 1, Second to Last Boy Scout, Sigsog Saline, and Super Ashley 84. So congratulations to all of you for guessing it and being in the final round where I did random number generator, and the first time I did it, I screwed up. I'll be honest, because the winner, it was really the second pick. The first pick, I don't know who it was because I closed off the page. I had like put all these names in WordPad, and I accidentally X'd out of it before I can count. So I don't really know who the first person was, but because I didn't see it or anything, I guess it doesn't count. So I just redid the whole thing again. And the second time, in a random number generator, it picked SAS Tactical, who I happen to know on here. There's, out of all these people, there's probably 4 who I know who comment on the channel all the time, and I just recognize the name. So it's nice to get someone you recognize, but of course that wasn't on purpose. So if you think it was on purpose, shame on you, because you know, it's not. I will do, sometimes people, they get weird with contests. It's like, if I happen to pick someone who I know, first of all, I could if I want to. I could just pick whoever I want. There's no real rules. It's my deal, right? I make it up. But I do things fairly, and maybe I'll just film them in the future. I always think it's boring to go through the whole thing and watch it, but hey, if you guys really want that, I'll do that just so you can see it. You know, it should be kind of fun. You shouldn't enter a free contest to win free stuff and then complain about it or feel like it was unfair. It's never unfair. There's no such thing as unfair trying to win something for free, you know? But I do try to keep it as fair as possible and random as possible. And in fact, I think the next contest I might do, someone suggested guess a number, and whoever guesses the number first wins. I kind of like that idea. I don't know if I did that before. I did a whole crap load of contests, but if I didn't do that, or if I feel like it, maybe that'll be the next contest, because I think I'm going to give away a Zippo next. There's an awesome Zippo I love, but I like to give away. So we will see what happens. There's always going to be contests on the channel. I always feel very blessed. People do very nice things for me, and I love to give back. It's just part of it. It's really fun. So you will see a review on this knife in the future. I've been babying it so far because of that tip. Man, I'm telling you, this thing is wicked. Wicked sharp. I'll go through my hand again with it. It's crazy. Crazy sharp tip, but I don't want that to snap off. So I've been babying a little bit. I might suck it up and use it just a little bit harder. I mean, the only reason I'm even EDCing this is because it has some use on it. If this was in mint condition, I wouldn't touch it. I would just put it in my frame and that's it. But you know, this is a knife someone bought and used, and apparently even with the use on it, they never snapped the tip off. So it might be stronger than I think. But it is sharpened on both sides, and it just comes to it's so ridiculous. It's crazy. I love it. Overall, it's an ugly knife to me, but very ergonomic. Loctite. The lockup is phenomenal on it. I just can't believe it. I mean, attention to detail in this one. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. So that's it. Spyderco worker. Very proud owner. If you guys happen to have a Spyderco worker, please post a video response. I'd love to see yours. You know, see what variation you have on it, and hear your thoughts on it, whether you used it or you just like it in your collection. But part of what I really like about making videos on YouTube is enjoying people who really enjoy the history of things and learn things. You could show a knife and you can look it up and be like, oh, I really want to buy this knife, so let me watch some videos and get excited about it. More times than not, if you just order a knife, you're on YouTube watching videos of that knife because you're all excited and you're getting amped up and you're getting pumped watching these videos. Oh my God, I can't wait to get it. And then you watch a review and they're like, I love it. And you're like, yeah, I'm going to love mine. That's part of it. I think we all do that. If you buy anything and you're excited about it, you'll go to YouTube and see if there's a video on it, just so you can, you know, get more excited watching it and get ready to get it. But people who send messages and like, you know, it's so cool, I didn't know this about a knife, or I didn't know that about a Zippo, and you know, thanks for teaching it to me. That's what is the most fulfilling to me. That's what gets me so excited, is to know that someone can appreciate a hobby by learning different things about it. You know, it's really cool going back to the roots. That's why I like doing videos on old time knives, you know, slip joints and different patterns and stuff like that, because a lot of you younger people aren't exposed to that. You see a lot of tactical knives and you don't see so many of the old grandpa type knives, you know. So that's always very fun to me, to expose that to people and basically just to grow your hobby. If you love knives, you may like a certain type of knives, but you don't think about, if you've never used a fixed blade, you're not thinking about them. But then maybe you watch a video and you're like, hey, that's kind of cool, maybe I'll get that. And then it expands, you know, the limits within your hobby. So it's very cool and it's very fun. By the way, people occasionally will mention, if you have like headphones on or something, The audio, a lot of times it's to the left because my head's to the left of the camera right now. So if I go to the right side of the camera, now it sounds like it's coming out of your right speaker. Sorry about that. It's just the way it is. I'm sitting behind my, that's why you can see my hands inside. It's like a first person perspective, which I think a lot of people like seeing as opposed to having it face the other way. But the tripod, the arm, it's sticking out right in my face. So I have to, either I'm talking from way back here or I have to be up here on the left side of it. So just a quick little FYI. Sorry if you're like, why is it always in the left speaker? I'll try to keep it centered for all you people who enjoy the videos in Dolby 5.1 and you crank your volume up and make some popcorn. Very cool of you to enjoy the videos that much. For everyone else, you just never notice it and don't care. But now you do notice it and it's kind of bugging you. So I'm sorry I even mentioned it. Anyway, unrelated to this video, but since the camera's on and you're listening, I've just been super busy with a lot of stuff. And I'm going to make a video talking about why I'm busy. It's something I'm working on, personal thing. But I'd like to mention it in the future. But, you know, between work and taking care of some other stuff, hard to find time doing this, but I'll always end up doing it. And I do have just so much crap, and I keep saying that I have so much crap to show, and I do. I have a lot of stuff to show, so be prepared. There'll be some kind of video bombing eventually, where it's just gonna be one video after another. You're not gonna be able to keep up. So until then, hope you enjoy the rest of your day. I thank you very much for watching, and I will see you soon. Take it easy, guys.